Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast, a show that provides insight and tools to build the life and homestead of your dreams. My name is Rob Kaiser, and I am your host. Today, we are going to talk about rotator cuff tears and shoulder problems. This is fresh on my mind, and I am on the road right now. It is February 22nd, 2022. I am just leaving Hops Therapy Services in Seville, Ohio, where I was referred to by my doctor, Eric Modlow, from the Cleveland Clinic Center for Functional Medicine. After experiencing some prolonged pain from an injury that I initially suffered almost 9 months ago, I decided to go ahead and enlist the help of someone more qualified than myself in terms of finding out what was needed to rehabilitate my shoulder. It's been difficult dealing with the rotator cuff injury as it is. I've tried to do some things on my own to work through it, but despite my efforts, I feel like I've never been able to get beyond 75-80% maybe with my shoulder, and so I took the suggested recommendation, went to Hops Therapy, saw Steve, and over the course of an hour or so got a comprehensive exam, for lack of a better term, and some guidance on what to do moving forward, and also had a couple cool experiences that I've never had before. So I wanted to share some of that with you and just share the experience in the case that you ever find yourself working through a rotator cuff injury as well. Now, one of the things that we did is we first diagnosed what was going on, and I wish I could remember the names of the muscles, but basically you've got your shoulder and your bicep, okay? So think about the bones in your arm, in your bicep, your upper arm going up into your shoulder, and imagine that, excuse me, cops back there hiding out, waiting for us. And imagine if you fell and you fell onto your arm and your arm was jammed back up into your shoulder, okay? That tendon can get torn. Can actually get torn. The tendon, the muscle that attaches to that tendon, the tendon can get smashed up into the bone and tear. And as far as we can tell, that's what I have going on, based on as the best description of how the injury occurred, which I don't know because I was unconscious, because it happened immediately after a seizure. And I know I ended up in the woods, but that's all I know. So after we diagnosed and learned what was going on, he suggested that we do some dry needling followed by an ultrasound to warm the muscle up, and then he was going to stretch it out before teaching me some exercises that I could do on my own, and then rescheduling for another appointment. So what the hell is dry needling, and what's that all about? Well, it's pretty cool. Luckily, on their website, which I'll link to in the show notes if I remember, they give a pretty detailed description of it. So this is how it works. Dry needling works by causing a micro lesion within the pathological tissue, thus breaking up shortened tissues, inhibiting a reflex arc from the nervous system to the tissue, normalizing the inflammatory system, or the inflammatory response, and centrally medicating the pain. All right, now, I don't really know what that means, and I'm not entirely sure if I read that right, because, guys, I am driving and going through roundabouts, and look, I'm trying to be as safe as possible while still being as efficient as possible. So, you know, I got distracted there for a second before I just put my phone away, because I read something about insurance and I thought, oh boy, here we go. I don't even care if this is covered by insurance. You know, I gave him my insurance card, he accepted it. We'll see what happens. Is it covered? Who knows? This is what I need to do to work through this. Did I need to go through the process of dry needling? No. Was it cool and would I recommend it? I thought it was cool, but I can't make recommendations. That's not what I do. If you're experiencing some pain and mobility issues, then work with a physical therapist, do your own research, and make decisions that are best suited for you. But this was cool. We did some dry needling, ran an ultrasound over there with some sort of heat. I don't know what that was, but like a heat cream. And then he pulled out this this metal tool. Think of something that looks like those bear claws that you use for pulled pork, and then hybridize that with a spatula. And that is effectively what this guy was using to manipulate the musculature in and around my shoulder, specifically on the back side, the posterior, I guess it would be called. And that was cool. I did not struggle near as much to put on my shirt, my jacket, whatever this thing is that I'm wearing, this sweatshirt type thing. And I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that the work that I'm doing now will pay off in the long run, and I'm hopeful that this is almost going to be the icing on the cake in terms of my physical health, because it's been a long road over the past 12 years or so, 10 to 12 years. The man Steve there, who seemed somewhat impressed by the fact that just a few more pounds, I'll have dropped 100 pounds. You know, there's something to be said for taking strides in your life to improve your health, to improve your life. And really, I guess at the core of it, I wanted to record this and share that experience with you, because we all have the potential to take our own realities and our own futures into our own hands and make improvements to our health and all aspects of our life, for that matter. It's just a matter of making the decision taking action and staying consistent. Excuse me, staying consistent with that action. Yikes. I'm chewing some gum here, and that didn't quite sit right with me, guys. So anyways, that might be the appropriate time to wrap up the podcast, wrap up this episode. It's going to be a shorty, but hey, who doesn't like a bonus every now and then? So if I was wise, I would log this episode for a future show when I am unwilling or unable to do a show for whatever reason. Case in point, having a seizure. But right now, I'm not wise. So we're just going to drop it. Probably this evening when I get home. Who knows? And we'll just roll with it, guys. So that's a little bonus episode for you on rotator cuff therapy, dry needling, and consistent steps towards optimizing our health. Oof. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.